Welcome to episode 37 of the Area 51 Racing Podcast. I am Rob, and joining me tonight is Dave, our host Bobby. Hey, Dave, how's it going?
Not too bad, Rob. How are you?
Doing well. I don't know why I did that again. I'm sorry. I apologize. For some reason, it decided to play YouTube over top of our podcast again. Tonight is episode 37 of our Area 51 Racing Podcast. Bobby, our host, unfortunately is not here tonight. His dad sadly passed away peacefully this past Sunday. We send our thoughts and comforting prayers to Bobby and his family as they mourn the loss of his dad. Dave and I would like to dedicate this episode number 37 to the memory of Bobby's dad, Robert Peters. Bobby's dad was a big NASCAR fan, especially of Jeremy Clements, Dale Earnhardt Sr., and Dale Jr. We'll take a quick moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. Bobby wanted us to share that there is a GoFundMe set up for his family to help ease their medical expenses. If you go to Bobby's Facebook page, and I believe it's also on our Area 51 podcast Facebook page, the link is there. Tonight's guest was supposed to be Jeremy Clements' sister, Jennifer Clements Zellner. Unfortunately, something came up at the last minute. She wasn't able to be here tonight, so our segments 1 and 2, brought to you by Alliance Drive-Away Solutions and Spartan Waste. Unfortunately, we don't have a guest. However, we do have Kylie Glick racing from Kylie Glick Racing, who's going to be doing a race recap from her race this weekend. I'm going to have Kylie come in and hopefully able to get this to work here. Hi, Kylie. How's it going?
Hi. How are you guys tonight?
Good, thank you. Welcome in.
Yeah.
Sorry for a little bit of I guess user error on my part. As always, I'm not too computer literate, so I apologize for the delays and stuff. But so since we talked to you last, the last time we talked, you got your first junior late model win. So this past weekend you raced your junior late model again, and also your pro late model at All American Speedway. Is it Rossville, California?
In Roseville, California.
Roseville, California. Okay. So go ahead and tell us about that. And there's a big poster in the background behind you there that we'll also get to. That's pretty cool and important that we want to talk about as well.
Yeah, most definitely. So we rented out the track on Thursday because I was exciting. I was sharing a pit with Michelle, my teammate for the weekend, and she's from the Trans Am world, and so she hasn't raced at Roseville in over 10 years. So we went to the track, and I was able to go out there with her and everything. So we got a lot of practice on Thursday, which was very good. The track was way hot. It was about 30 degrees hotter than the last time we raced there. So the track had a lot more grip and everything. So our times were about like a 1/10 to 2/10 off from our last race, which wasn't that bad. Our last practice, we ended up hitting a 14.3, which is pretty good because we were running like in the 14.2s last race. So not bad. And it was good. And then on Friday, it was, again, amazing. My crew gives me an amazing car every time. I couldn't ask for a better team. And then on Saturday, I was running double duty, and Rose was probably my favorite track I've ever ran. I mean, it has so much history and it means like a lot to me. So, but I qualified second in the juniors, and then I qualified P6 out of, I'm pretty sure, 14 cars in the pros. And that was pretty cool because we made the draw, and That was probably one of a really good goal that we got achieved this weekend. But anyways, I started second in the main of the juniors, and then I finished second to Vito Kinsella, I have a lot of respect for him. I mean, he's doing super good. He's broken a lot of really good records, like Cole Clusters and Jesse Loves, by beating like the first. He won 2 pro races this year, just at the age of 12. So I mean, he's doing really good. But it was super cool to finish second to him. And then in the pros, and also in the juniors, I gained a 9-point lead over my championship. So we got a little, yeah, we got a little room to wiggle around in the juniors. So that's always good. The championship is looking pretty good for us this season, and we're hoping to get it in the juniors, which is super cool. But and then we started our pro race, and it was later at night, so the track was getting cooler, which is always a blessing. I mean, the track is always so much better when it's cooled off. So I'm super excited for that. And so I started on the pole, which is very scary and nervous, I guess. I was very nervous, but because I was driving against, the field was packed with some amazing drivers. I mean, I had like a bunch of ARCA drivers, a bunch of track champions in there. I mean, a bunch of people that were super good drivers. So, I mean, this race was probably the most experienced drivers I've ever raced against in a race. So I was super excited for that, and like getting to drive against all these super cool people. So, but I was nervous starting on the pole, but we ended up doing good. I mean, we led about 7 laps. We took off, and beforehand we went over, and my team is always so good, and I mean, it's probably the best team on the West Coast. And so we set goals and everything, and so our goal wasn't to win the race. I mean, we knew that wasn't probably in our future, but we were setting goals for ourselves just to make, I mean, that for this weekend we were just talking about communication and talking about what the car was doing and everything, and like just needed to finish the race, and just a bunch of really goals, so that way we can run super competitive with all the pros next season. Sorry, excuse me. We're just focusing on getting that track championship this year, and then running a bunch of pro races to get me experience with them, to make sure that I'm all good for next season and I'll be very competitive. But yeah, so we led a few laps, and it was super good. I got a lot of experience driving. I was battling against a bunch of skilled drivers, so that's always fun. We ended up finishing 9th, which is not bad. We finished the race and everything. We got a lot of things done. So, and we qualified very good, which was surprising and very rewarding. So that was good. Overall, the weekend was really amazing. I mean, I got to go out to the fan zone and hand out a bunch of Who's Your Hero stuff to everybody. So that's always fun. And I took a lot of photos and sent a lot of autographs, which I love meeting all like the little fans and everything. So that's always cool. And then they finished off the night with a trailer bash and some fireworks, which, I mean, who doesn't like a trailer bash? So fun. Yeah. I mean, I want to run one so bad. I think we're working on it for later this year, but hopefully I can run a trailer bash. But yeah, and then after the race, everybody, all like the little fans and everything, got to come back to my pit, and we handed out Hot Wheels and little squishies and everything, and all the little kids love it. And so I love doing that. It's basically the best part of race day. But yeah, that was kind of the overall race recap for this weekend.
So with the Pro Late model with that stacked field, I mean, you finished with your car on the lead lap. You finished with a clean car.
Yeah.
I mean, that says a lot right there in and of itself. I mean, even, with the realistic goal of, we're probably not going to win this race, but, if we do, that's a bonus. Biggest thing is that it was your second Pro Late model start, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that is pretty impressive. I mean, setting those goals and the biggest thing is seat time. I mean,
Yeah,
as a race car driver, seat time is everything. I mean, the more you have, the better, and the better competition you race against, the better it makes you as a driver. So,
yeah,
and when you were on the pole to start the race, you being nervous, you obviously, I mean, you led 7 laps. That
yeah.
that
7 or 8, but yeah, it was so cool. I mean, to be able to lead a pro race with that, I'm pretty sure like 14 cars in it with like a stacked group of people, like veterans and track champions. So that was definitely really cool, and got a lot of skill doing that too. I mean, it kind of lit a fire under your butt. You're like, I don't know what's gonna happen next. We just gotta go, and so that really helps. But yeah, this year we definitely we know that we're not as good, and we don't have enough seat time to compete with all these drivers that have had like 5+ years behind the wheel, and having just 1 year behind the wheel has been, we know that we could have a car that's fast enough to qualify on the pole and stuff. So we're just working on that and like being consistent, and then seat time will come with that, and that's what we're working on right now, the seat time.
Yep, and I guarantee you gained a lot of respect from your competitors by racing clean, and when you're leading laps, you made them have to pass you. So it's not like you just laid over and let them by. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, most definitely.
Now, since you ran second, were you close enough to put a bumper on him?
Well, we were not. He drove away pretty fast, but we were it was a good race.
Good, good. That's what I like to hear. If you're close enough and you didn't do a little bit of rubbing, I'd be just a teeny bit disappointed.
Yeah.
But as long as you did it respectfully and you still got a P2, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that my most thing is I need to learn this year. I definitely need to accomplish some good qualifying times. I feel like that's the thing that I came into this season struggling with the most. And so I accomplished that, and I've been learning a lot about that. And my second thing was definitely starting on like the outside row. I'm not too good with like second or fourth place starts, so or at least I wasn't confident with my starts. So I feel like I gained a lot of confidence with those, and now I can go into next season being all prepared and everything. So that's good.
Now, is that a big thing? Like you're obviously in the car. You've got pretty much blinders on. You have to trust that car on the inside when you're going into turn one, not to force you up the track. To get in the straightaway so you guys can kind of figure out where everybody's at. I mean, when that runs through your mind, or obviously you get a lot of spotter help.
Yeah.
But is it more of a, all right, now I can trust this person on the inside to not run me up, into the fence on the first or second lap? Because obviously you guys aren't going to get strung out within, 2 or 3 laps. There's going to be some side-by-side racing.
Mm-hmm.
What, as a spotter, is that your main help? Is, all right, going to the inside, let's go to the outside, let's, we got a half car length. What are you hearing in your head to ease, say, you starting in second or fourth, or even trying to pass somebody on the outside?
Yeah. I mean, I definitely, when it's nighttime and everything, I definitely enjoy the outside line. It's probably way funner. I find way funner than the bottom line. But when you're starting on the top side during the day, there's not a lot of grip up there, and so you can't really get a good run, especially like coming to the start. Like you have to really like time your starts, I guess, like because they have to get to the line first, but like you still have to have that running to be able to stay up there with them. And so I think that's what I struggled the most was timing, I guess, or to be able to like be up there and race. But my spotter, he's amazing. I couldn't ask for a better spotter. I feel like we connect so good, and we communicate the best. I feel like what I found, and I mean, he's always in my ear telling me what to do and what not to do. I mean, he's got a lot of experience, and like he knows what we're gonna be learning on and stuff, and all the really cool things. So he's definitely a big teacher to me, and like really appreciate. He knows how to communicate with the girls rather than the boys. I feel like that's the biggest thing. I mean, girls and boys are very two different mindsets and everything. So I think that was basically the biggest thing is he knows how to communicate better. So, like a girl's mindset. That
Now
makes any
is
sense.
now is that considered? Now I'm naive. Obviously, I'm a man. So I would look for more of a aggressive, somebody talking in my ear.
Mhm.
Let's go, let's do this. I told you. Kind of a teacher aspect of it.
Mhm.
Now, or do you like somebody that's more, all right, this is kind of what we got to do. This is what we're looking for. All right, you did a great job. Let's try this. What motivates you inside the car?
Um, that's a good question. I feel like I'm all over the place. It just depends like what mood I am. I'm definitely like, let's go after this. Like you need to be here and stuff. But um, I feel like I'm definitely a big pusher on myself too. So I feel like during the race, if he'll be like, all right, guys, like you have to make it to this car by the end of the race, or like get up to him in 2 laps and stuff, or like you have to be here or stuff like that. Like
Okay.
pushing me, but like not over the edge. But just being like a confident, like a cheerleader almost in my ear. Like if he sees like me like slacking or like dozing off, or not dozing off, but like getting a little sloppy, he'll be like, all right, let's go, come on. And then like you gotta hit this by next lap. And then he's like, if you don't, like whatever. But yeah. He's like a cheerleader, but then also keeps me like going at the same time. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
Speaking of cheerleading, that big old billboard next to you. I know here at Area 51 and all of our Facebook, all that, we've been huge cheerleaders for you. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're going through right now with the Who's Retired?
I mean, there's so much. I mean, starting last Tuesday, we were voting started, and I have been chosen out of 2,000 applicants to become a top 25 contender to become a 2025 Hoosier Hero, which we were not expecting at all. And it's been so, I mean, crazy. I mean, we weren't expecting it at all. But when we got that email that said that, I mean, my mom was shook. Like, she's like, what? That's so cool. And so we immediately started making everything like posters and stickers and everything, thinking of ideas how to brand Hoosier. I mean, different ways than just making like a little post on Facebook or whatever saying like we're Hoosier Hero, like go vote for us. Like we were trying to think of other ways to brand Hoosier that are different, like flyers handing out to the fans after my race, or giving out like taking photos or making billboards or little QR codes everywhere. We put like a vote for Kylie with a big Hoosier QR code on the back of like my mom, my dad's truck, like all my team and everything. So we're trying really hard to brand and everything and make sure Hoosier knows that there's other ways that we can brand or help them brand and we're unique and everything. So I feel like we've been doing pretty good with the whole Hoosier thing, and we've had a lot of super cool supporters that have gone and voted for me. Like people I didn't even know who they were, but they're just voted for me, and I'm like, that's so cool. Like in the pits this weekend, I've met so many new people that like from different racing, like the legends or like the street stocks or stuff like that. They like I was walking through the pits and like, hi, like we voted for you and everything. I was like, that's so sweet. Like that just made my day. Because I didn't know who they were until then, and it's so cool to like just see how big this community is and how supportive they are. But yeah.
Now, being in the junior series this year, um, and racing up front and all that stuff, do you think that's what got Hoosiers' attention, or the fact that you are an up and coming, star on the West Coast, to get your name out there? Because this is national, right?
Oh yeah, this is across the whole U.S. and everything. And well, apparently they emailed my mom, and in the email they said that somebody or some people nominated me to become one, and then I was chosen out of 2,000 applicants by Hoosier to become a top 25. And so that was crazy. We didn't even know that we were getting voted in. And so I feel like that's pretty cool. And yeah. But they're the number one racing tire in like the whole world. And so I feel like, and they do a lot for their drivers and everything. And the whole program is so cool. I mean, they take them and fly them out to Indianapolis if you're in the top 12 or anything. You get to go to the Hoosier, the Pure Eye show with Hoosier and speak and everything. You do a lot of interviews and they do like a lot of marketing things with you. And I'm so excited to become a finalist. I mean, it means like a lot to me. They chose from all the other drivers they could have chose. I was one of them, and so I feel very blessed.
Well, we're definitely proud of you. You know,
Yeah.
I know the three of us have voted probably more times than we probably should have under different names and aliases and
Email addresses.
right.
Yeah. Which
But
is so cool. Yeah. Very blessed. And voting ends tomorrow. So if anyone's listening, you can vote at kylieglake.com/who'syourhero. And you can find it's on my website or anything. You can go and vote. Every vote counts. And so that's pretty cool.
I mean, if you go and look at the Hoosier Heroes former winners, it's like a who's who of racing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at it right now. It's crazy. I mean, dirt, asphalt. I mean, it's a pretty prestigious thing. I mean, and to be the top 25 out of over 2,000 entrants is a huge, prestigious thing. And like Dave said, Bobby, Dave, and I are extremely happy and proud of you for that nomination, and we're doing whatever we can to make sure you make it to the top 12. So, so hopefully, we're able to help that happen, and you get to move on and go to the PRI show and represent Hoosier.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And they do so much for the drivers. I mean, it's crazy. And to be a part of their team, and as long as we make it to the top 12, I could become a 2025 Hoosier Hero. And so that's the biggest thing that we're focusing on this whole week, I guess. Like we've been pushing it a lot. So I would be so it'd be so crazy. And like, I feel like it would definitely change my like racing career and help me out a lot if I become one, because it would get my name out there and everything to like the East Coast. Because I mean, they are based out of Indianapolis, so that's kind of the racing central. So yeah.
Yeah, Hoosier Tires is definitely a huge, like you said, one of the main racing tires on the market. Dirt cars, late asphalt cars. A majority of the racing series use Hoosier tires.
Pretty much if you're not racing, you know, NASCAR series or Indy, you know, you're racing Hoosier tires. I mean, you know, the only reason Goodyear's so strong is, you know, they're on the Cup cars, they're on the Xfinity cars. You know, of course, your Indy cars have, you know, Pirellis on them or Firestones, but everything else, you know, like, you know, even my local cars here at the Carolina Dirt Track, you know, as far as the super late models and all that stuff, all run Hoosier dirt tires.
Yeah. I mean, I've been running them since quarter midgets, since day one, I guess. So, I mean, yeah.
So it's in your blood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
I'm sorry, Dave, go ahead.
So I did have a question from a little bit earlier. Once you do, I'm going to say you're going to win the championship this year. So once you win the junior championship this year, next year, is it going to be complete? I'm going pro series, or are you still going to split duties 50-50, or are you pretty much, all right, you know, somebody else, let's jump into a junior car, you know, and get them going in it while you head to the pro?
See, our goal for next year, what we're planning is I'm going to run the Cars Tour Series on the West Coast. I mean, they're expanding the tracks by probably double. I mean, they've been basically all in California, and then for next year there's going to be like double the tracks. I mean, they're reaching all the way up to Washington, all the way to like Arizona and Nevada and everything. So they're expanding a lot of tracks. So I feel like we'll be racing a lot with those, and then as much as I can at like the local stuff, like at All American Speedway. I mean, I'm gonna try to run there as much as I can, and but if like a Cars Tour race ends up on one of the nights, I feel like I'm gonna go to the Cars Tour. But I feel like it's almost what I'm noticing, and like my team's noticing, it's almost like it's becoming like the new like ARCA Menard series almost for like the West Coast. Like I feel like a lot more people are driving with the Cars Tour stuff on the West Coast. I mean, it's a lot cheaper than ARCA, but they're drawing in a lot more incredible drivers with a lot more car count and everything that I've seen. So I think we're going to be targeting definitely towards the Cars Tour Series and just running all of those. So yeah.
Well, I don't think that's just the West Coast thing. I'm seeing it here in Charlotte and just the rumor mill. Because I mean, you've got just for instance, I went to one in Hickory, North Carolina, just a couple weeks ago. Josh Berry's out there running a pro late model, and Katie Kettinger, she's out there running the Cars Tour, and like you said, it's just a lot cheaper to get out there and run the Cars Tour. It's televised. I mean, yeah, you gotta get the MAV TV or whatever, but heck, you can hardly find the ARCA series on anymore. But yeah, the cars are so badass. I mean, I got to sit in Ashton's when he had his display car out, and they're pretty much they're a legit race car. I mean, it's not like sitting in a super stock car anymore. Those are full out roll cages from NASCAR team engines. I mean, they're definitely financially backed. I think more than the ARCA series is now.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's become with Dale Jr., Jeff Burton, I think it was Justin Marks and what's that?
Kevin Harvick.
And Kevin Harvick.
Yeah.
I think as soon as they got involved, I think that those names brought a lot of credibility to that series. And by Harvick being from California, wanting to start the racing on the West Coast, I think, like Kylie was saying, it's going to be like the ARCA Menard series, but at more of a grassroots, like super late model, pro late model level. What is not a super late model, but it's a pro stock,
right.
Late model stock. That's what it is.
Yeah, I can remember like the old K&N series.
Yeah, exactly. Like K&N series or the Remax Challenge series. I think it was back in the day when, like back in the 80s, 90s.
Back in the Grand National days.
Yeah. So I think that's what it was called back then. But either way, I mean, I think that you're right, Kylie. I think that is going to bring a lot more exposure to a bunch of the West Coast drivers. I think it's flow racing, Racing America or whatever it is that is the pay-per-view. But
it's all right, Kylie. We all have our own mascots.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Diamond's made an appearance on here. Mara Cat. He's got the puppy next to him.
I got my dachshund here, Sunny. So, I think the competitiveness, and when you're able to race against some Cup drivers or Xfinity drivers, the guys and gals that race in the Truck Series or ARCA or whatever, that only makes you better, like we talked about earlier. So, that's going to be a pretty exciting thing. And then the other thing I was going to mention, and I don't know if we mentioned it the last time you were on the show, Madera Speedway is another track that you race at, and actually they MAV TV actually televises all their races. So if
Yeah.
I happen to, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, I happened to be flipping through channels trying to see what was on, and I saw Madera Speedway on MAV TV, and I was like, oh, I wonder if Kylie's racing.
Yeah.
But it was like it was a special race or something that they had, and it was I think it was super late models or something. It was
Yeah,
some touring series race.
Yeah, they do a 10,000 to win at Madeira with the supers, and so I'm pretty sure that's the one. But it's super.
Yeah, I think that's what it. I think that's what it was. But either way, I was just to let your fans and that are viewers of our podcast and listeners. That's one way to be able to watch you potentially race for free on regular TV.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, Dave, do you have anything else for Kylie?
Vote for Kylie.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Paid and approved for by the Area 51 Racing Podcast team.
Right. We're going to put them on all the lockers at all the high schools around Gaston and Mecklenburg County.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Kylie.
Well, have a great week, and we'll definitely chat up next week, and hopefully we'll have some results in the meantime.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, your next race is October 5th, right?
As for right now, yes.
Okay, and that's going to be a big race at
All-American
All-American.
Yeah.
With the Cars Tour, the West Cars Tour ARCA Menards series, and
yeah, and the
pro
junior late models.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, we're looking forward to hearing from you again and having you back on the show to keep us updated. And hopefully next week we talk to you. You're a finalist for the Hoosier Heroes.
Yes,
program.
hopefully. Yeah. But thank you, guys.
You're welcome, Kylie. Take care.
Bye.
Have a good night.
All right. Bye, Kylie.
Bye.
Bye.
Just well, for some reason,
You just stopped us.
I don't know what I did. Okay, well, I'll figure this out. Sorry, everybody. As you can tell, I am not.
Nobody can hear us. We're stopped.
Really?
Yep.
No, it still shows it's live on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Oh man. Sorry to our listeners. I apologize. I think Dave, if you click on your video, it should come back, I think. There we go.
All right, I'm back.
I apologize. I am not computer literate, as you can see. We definitely miss Bobby.
Yes.
We don't have the Cap Houston intro. We got Buffoon and me running the camera and computer stuff and messing it up. So
and I have no idea honestly what I'm doing here. So yeah. Bobby, we miss you. We got to get you back. We got to get you back, Bobby.
Yeah, this is yeah. So I guess the next stage or segment, I should say, is segment 3. We sort of went out of order because we wanted to get Kylie to be able to do her race report and then get back to studying for school or whatever, or working on the race car, whatever she needed to do. So the segment 4, Kylie Glick Racing Recap, was brought to you by Nordic Logistics. So we're going to go back to segment 3, which is the Xfinity Series race recap for Jeremy Clements Racing from Atlanta Motor Speedway, brought to you by Action RV. Dave, you were actually at the race with your girlfriend Stacy.
Yep.
So
we had a hell of a time. I can actually tell you firsthand what Jeremy's car looked like all race. He did start towards the back, but almost immediately in the first stage, you could watch him starting to pick off, car after car after car, and he seemed like he had an absolute rocket ship for a car. They came down, got some tires, filled it up with Sunoco fuel, put him back out there. The edge kind of went away. I think everybody kind of dialed themselves in. I think everybody started either way on the loose side or really bad on the snug side. And it looked like Jeremy was kind of pushing coming out of 3 and 4. At least what I could see, he just seemed to be a hair off the tempo, but still really, really, really fast. So he ran pretty much mid-pack, through the first stage, going into the second stage. It looked like they started to have really bad problems going into stage number 3. I don't know if they thought they weren't getting the right amount of fuel into the vehicle, but they did make multiple stops just for fuel. Never lifted the hood or anything. Didn't put tires on it. So I don't know if Jeremy had heard something or the engine was a little bit off. Rob will be able to kind of tell us more of the logistics of that. But probably about halfway through stage 3, seemed like he pitted once or twice during every caution just to put fuel in it. And as we know from the spring race, it came down to fuel strategy. So me just looking as a fan, I didn't have the scanner or anything on, so I was just being really observant and seeing what was going on. And he kind of fell towards the back, and there were about 5 or 6 cars on the same strategy as him. So I'm like, all right, if they're that far back, let's pack it full of fuel. That way, if they do get a long green flag run, he doesn't have to stop anymore. It seemed like towards the middle of stage 3, he really started having major issues. I've never seen so many rounds taken in and out of a car over the course of just 2 or 3 pit stops. It looked like they put 4 rounds in, took 4 rounds out, on each side of the car, and at one point in time they were messing. I think looks like with the driver's side front. I'm assuming they probably took a Packard out of the left front, because he was really falling back, and then all of a sudden, he didn't seem like he was off pace, but he kind of fell into, there was about a 4 or 5 group that was towards the end, and I'm like, all right, we know it's Atlanta, it's a super speedway, maybe he's fading to the back just to, kind of the Denny Hamlin approach. Let's stay out of trouble. Let's keep the car clean. But it looks like it ended up with about 9 to go, snapping something in the under the hood. I believe they ended up saying it was a power steering belt, Rob.
Yeah, power steering belt. With 13 to go, he pulled off, had to go to the garage. So
yeah, and that was heartbreaking. I mean, I understand he was running towards the back, the second half of stage 3, and I really, really, really wanted to see him, because I mean, if you watch the race, obviously I didn't watch the race because I was there, but he had to have some TV time. I bet he passed 10 cars in the first 15 laps. He was making it up to the big name guys, and I was starting to think, all right, maybe he just got a little happy in the throttle and qualifying, or just didn't start off on time, because I was there for the cup qualifying, and I watched certain guys, they would sit in line, and then the officials would call them up. I mean, they've got it down to inches to how they're going to pull off pit road, make a hard left, and get as close to the wall as they possibly can to qualify, run that high line all the way around Atlanta. And then as soon as they get to the start finish line, dropped all the way to the middle and ran the fast line on the inside. And you could really see how strategic they were, just pulling on and off the pits. Like Denny Hamlin stumbled off the pits, started, I think, damn near dead last. I think, like,
Yeah, he started dead last.
yeah, I think, well, that was because unapproved changes, but I think he was like 35th.
Yeah,
Like
so
that.
the Toyotas for Joe Gibbs Racing had faulty plug wires. So that's why what happened with them. That's why they changed them all out. Like Truex, Hamlin, and I think it was Ty Gibbs all had to start at the rear because and they didn't have good runs to begin with. And
No.
it ended up being the faulty plug wires. So
Okay.
I just heard that I can't remember where it was on some social media post yesterday. But it's
but probably the coolest thing through the weekend, I'm guessing they showed it on TV, was the number 2 car with Riley Herbst's bumper wedged on top of it from the last wreck. Stacy's the one that pointed out to me. She's like, "There's a bumper on top of the car," and I'm like, "Huh, no shit." I said, how weird is it that a car would go backwards, for the roof flaps to open up, and then the bumper actually get wedged in there, and then everybody obviously pitted. They had red flagged everything, so they came down pit road, and by then Riley Herbst had already had a tail put on his car, because it is a super speedway. They got to have a tail on the car at the super speedways. But it was just really, really odd to see. I think it wasn't Austin Hill, because he ended up winning.
the 2 car I think is Jesse Love.
Yeah, Jesse Love. Yep. Yeah. Riding around with the bumper wedged up underneath the roof flaps. I'm like, I can honestly say, outside of the kid last year throwing the bumper at the car, I've ever seen one just ride around the track with, you see, quarter panels and, side panels where they've rubbed and kind of got entwined and they pull it out. But I've never seen a bumper on top of a car. That to me, in my, probably 40 years of watching racing, was probably one of the wildest things I had ever seen.
Yeah, I unfortunately didn't get to watch the race because my wife had to have surgery that morning. And I recorded the race, so I haven't had a chance to watch it because I've been at the hospital pretty much every day. So my wife is doing good. So she did, like I said, have surgery, but she's doing well. She'll be in the hospital for a little while yet. And I appreciate everybody that reached out with the kind words and prayers and stuff. So I appreciate that. But I went back through social media stuff just to see, went through the NASCAR app to get some information to do my report. But basically, Jeremy fought a loose car throughout the race, and as it went along, it seemed to get worse, especially during that third stage. And then, like we talked about, with 13 laps to go, the steering, the power steering belt shredded, and it finished his race. The issue that he had in practice, or I should say there was no practice in qualifying, like qualified P36, is because he had a power steering issue during that. And it sounded like they changed out the power steering unit or the steering box. It was some type of a steering issue. And then ultimately it came back, and that's what ended their day. Just that dumbass bad luck again.
But I tell you what, though, that livery on the car, gosh, was it beautiful. I mean, of all the cars there, I was really, really fortunate to to be able to see one of his special throwback paint schemes. And it did not, did not fail. That thing shimmered like a diamond. It
Yep.
kind of sucked though. I was sitting there watching them. They, came down pit road, had the nice bright red, Valvoline wheels on it,
Yep.
and then throw a set of black ones on it, and I'm like, oh, come on,
Yep.
guys, we couldn't have spray painted a couple more sets of wheels, but
Well,
man,
I think the reason why they didn't is because at Darlington, when they did the Robert Presley throwback,
yeah,
they painted the wheels, I think it was gold or whatever that brownish color was.
Yeah.
The first set. And because of the paint, the like some of the lugs didn't tighten enough, so they had got a loose wheel as a result of that. So that may be the reason why they didn't paint all of them.
right,
But I can guarantee you, Mark Martin commented that he loved the car. There a bunch of the NASCAR sites, the social media, sites that cover racing, they were commenting on the car, even like this is like dead nuts match to Mark Martin's livery from 97, 98, the JR51 chassis, down to the red painted wheels.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is just awesome.
yeah, it was an absolutely beautiful car. I mean, obviously, there was a couple throwback, or not throwbacks, but special paint schemes. Obviously Bennett was their 25th anniversary, and they ended up winning.
Yeah.
That was a really cool looking car. I forget who. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, but who's driving the number 26 car?
The 26 car is
Was that Weatherly?
that Kyle Weatherman.
Yeah,
I think. Let me look quick.
but yeah, I mean that car had absolutely no sponsors on it. It was
No,
literally a black swan. Looked like your local track where they would throw numbers on the side of a car and tell you to have at it, boy. I don't know who he was. Hopefully Rob will be able to look him up here. But
yeah,
that guy had a hell of a race. I mean,
it was 26, you said, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, it was Corey Heim, actually.
Okay.
It was Corey Heim.
But
The Toyota. Yeah, he finished P5.
yeah, I mean, it was the ugliest car I'd ever seen in my entire life, but damn, was it fast.
Yeah,
I mean,
Kyle Weatherman's the 91 car. I don't 26 car, I believe, is Sam Hunt Racing.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, but
Um,
it went out there and it looked like a Mike Harmon car. And
yeah,
I just kind of looked at it, and I really didn't look that much at it for probably the first stage or two.
yeah.
And then it was just kind of like, I'm starting to root for this guy, and but Atlanta Motor Speedway, if you guys ever get a chance, absolutely beautiful venue. Me and Stace were really lucky and got to sit under the awning because it was 103 degrees out at the track. And when we left the house that morning, it was 57. And let's just say I had a very stupid moment where I was cold, so I wore pants, and I did not bring a pair of shorts.
Did you cut them off?
No, I didn't go skinny jeans, and
Oh,
you
you
if
didn't
there
do
were,
the jorts?
unfortunately, did not do any jorts. I did see plenty there though. But was really cool about at least the Xfinity race. Honestly, this is probably either my first or second Xfinity race I've only been to. So I've always been there for the Cup cars, and when you buy tickets, that's your seat. Well, at the Xfinity, of course they, it definitely wasn't sold out. Let's just say that. but the security was actually asking people, out of generosity, to move back into the shade, which was super cool. I had never witnessed anything like that. I know here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Bruton Smith, who's the owner of that track, has given out free water and stuff like that because Memorial Day, you're at the 600 and they would give out free water and stuff like that, just because people drop like flies. But just a beautiful track. The parking was awesome. Getting in and out of there was somewhat of a breeze. Obviously we weren't in the infield, like some people were. It's easy to get in and out of. Not pointing at anybody, but that guy right there. But no, we absolutely had a blast. We couldn't thank we got to see Mark and Ryan while we were there, which was super cool. We were just walking down the midway. We had to use the restroom, came back out. Yep, here they are walking, and I'm thinking, all right, I see a lot of, which was really cool, by the way, is I did see a lot of throwback Mark Martin shirts. So there was a lot of Jeremy Clements fans there. Did meet one kid from Spartanburg while I was there. He said, "Man, that's a super cool shirt." Obviously, had to throw out Anna's name there, but he had on the P51 shirt, and he was like, "Yeah, I had to come to this race. Where the hell did you get your shirt from?" I got a lot of that. So JCR is up and coming. I mean, as far as a brand and recognition, Jeremy is on the way up as far as fans go, and I would like to think that's all due to Rob and Area 51 Racing as they tune in to see you, and it's bringing all the Jeremy Clements fans. The milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Our milkshake is Rob, so
it's this beard.
I'm telling you,
make
brother.
Him say "Golly."
Make him say it.
Golly.
But
so I think it's the Santa beard. I think that might be what it is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, but that's just a hunch. So, but
I know I've became a bigger fan since the beard, so we're keeping it.
Yeah, I mean, I've not, like I think I said, I don't know if it was on air or not. Being a cop and having to shave every day for 21 years, I've never ever had a beard ever. And right before Pocono, I just said, I'll just see how it goes. And I haven't shaved since like before the Pocono race, like I think a week or two before Pocono. And my wife, she goes, when are you going to shave that or trim that? And I'm like, I think I'm going to grow it until I can braid it. And she goes, yeah, I'm cutting that off then when you're sleeping. So I won't do that. But I think this is pretty for long enough, I think. So
I'm digging it, brother. I'm digging it.
I mean, I like it. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't recognize me that know me. I mean, which is a good thing, I guess, in a sense. So
at least yours is all white. I've kind of got the Travis Tritt thing going on here, and
my mustache is like a little darker, right, and comes down a little, and then right underneath my lower lip, but the rest is white. Like, I mean, well, it's hard to see my hair because my bald head, but my hair is completely white as well. So,
and if you're just listening into the Area 51 broadcast, we would like to have our hairstyle represented by Gale, beard oils. We both use them. So that was our fifth segment, manicuring and manscaping with Dave and Rob.
There you go. The beard butter and the beard oil. The important thing, do that, and then use the brush.
Yep.
Gets it perfect every time. So who knew that we'd ever be talking about how to manicure and take care of your beard on the podcast?
Only
but,
on the you're not doing this on
Yeah.
Bumper Clear or
Yeah,
Dirty
no.
Mo. No,
No,
no.
they're doing shots of Fireball and stuff. We're talking about manly stuff like how to manicure your beard and care for your beard.
Right.
So, but yeah, yeah. So the again, like we were talking about the race recap again. Unfortunately, bad luck again. But Ray Stevens from Flying Form Concrete Structures, who was the primary on this car and came up with the theme of Mark Martin to do the throwback, and then Michael Michelli, who did the design. I just want applause to those guys.
Absolutely knocked it out of the park.
100%. And I am a diehard Mark Martin fan. I've been a lifelong Mark Martin fan. I mean, you can probably see maybe over my shoulder there a bunch of his stuff. But yeah, I was, as soon as Ray revealed that to us, I was like, oh my God, this is like a dream come true.
Right.
My
and
favorite.
what a privilege it was that we were able to do that with Mark and with Ray and the whole crew, to reveal that paint scheme to the world. I mean, that's absolutely awesome for a show like ours.
Yeah, well, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. I haven't been able to talk to Ray, but I don't know if Gucci Mane showed up to check out the car or anything like that. I mean, he is from the big ATL, I believe.
Right.
So, and I know Mark Martin and his son Matt had other plans or engagements they had to do, so they weren't able, unfortunately, to make it to the race. But
there was definitely a lot of pictures, definitely a lot of gathering around that car, because obviously you can always tell who, Junior Nation and Penske, they always have a group around them, but Jeremy had a lot of publicity around that car at the start of the race. I mean, just the amount of fans and obviously the Flying Form guys were there. They all had their white shirts on. They were plain as day out there. It looked like there was probably about 50 of them out there for the race, but they were definitely having a hell of a time.
Yeah, I know. I saw Nick and Brittany Paget, the hauler drivers for Jeremy. Nick and his wife Brittany. They had the crew shirts they posted pictures of, and they're actual replicas of the crew shirts from back then. Ray had designed. I know he mentioned that he was looking to see if he could find the crew shirt like to look like the ones Mark had back then, and they were. They look really awesome. So yeah, when Ray does the throwback stuff to bring, he's said that before to us on the podcast. He does that because it brings back that racing history, and it recognizes the drivers that have meant something to the sport through the period of time of racing. And Mark Martin is probably one of the biggest names that ever raced in NASCAR. That just was awesome. And I think, not just Jeremy Clements fans, but you would see on social media, like other people that weren't just necessarily Jeremy Clements fans commenting like, this is so awesome. Mark Martin, I love Mark Martin. That was so awesome. It reminds me of back in the day when, and all that. So that's the stuff that's cool to hear and see, that, from a partner or sponsor's perspective, that they're using their business to not only promote and partner with a racer, but also promote and throw back to the history of the sport and the drivers that came before that laid, the groundwork for what's going on now. So Ray, I think I saw a picture of Ray, if I can remember right. He had a shoe game on point again. If I
Oh.
remember, he had some red and white and I think blue shoes on and stuff. So
Bobby put a lot of peer pressure on that man. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Ray, I just want to say, hey, thanks, man, for doing that throwback. As a Mark Martin fan and a Jeremy Clements fan, that was awesome. It turned out badass. And like I said, I saw Mark Martin do put the hands up emoji, like just thank you. And obviously, when he was on the show, he even was like, wow, this is awesome. I heard rumblings that this was going to happen, and now it came to fruition. And so, yeah, just I guess I'm a little like a kid in a candy store with the this past weekend. Even though the results weren't what we all wanted,
Yeah.
the car definitely got the attention that it deserved. So, and hopefully, like you were saying, Dave, that attention brought on some more and new Jeremy Clements racing fans. So
Yeah.
but,
it was definitely special. It was definitely special.
Yeah. So as far as the race recap, that's pretty much it. This week, Jeremy will be racing Saturday at Watkins Glen in New York in the Xfinity Series in the number 51 primary sponsored Nordic Logistics Chevy. Runners Roost is also a sponsor on the car this week, along with some of the other secondary sponsors that Jeremy normally has on the car.
And it's a pretty slick looking car too.
It is. I know Robert Fox from Runners Roost, when he was on, I think it was like 3 shows ago, yeah. He revealed the livery. And at that time, it had the Statue of Liberty on the side of it because, it's not far from Staten Island or where the Statue of Liberty is. And he...
It's Ellis Island, buddy.
Did I say Staten Island, didn't I? Oh, my God.
It's all right. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Ellis Island. Sorry. Yeah. At least, okay. I'm not even gonna, yeah. Okay, Ellis Island. My bad.
It's all right.
I don't know why I said Staten Island, but either way.
Just as classy.
My geography is obviously, I'm not smarter than a 5th grader, so
well, we were educated just a couple shows ago.
Yeah, that's true.
Buffalo was nowhere even close to New York City.
Right.
I would have figured it was right down the road. I'm
not yeah, same with me. So but either way, to get back to they, for some reason, the Statue of Liberty is not on the car now. So It's a totally different livery, which is fine. I don't know why that was. Maybe NASCAR didn't approve it, and for some reason, I don't know. But either way, it still looks badass. I like that Nordic Logistics white with that like ice blue and gray color. It looks really cool. So,
and one extra thing about the Statue of Liberty, I mean, obviously it's not on the car. It's a mute point now. But running it, the week of 9/11 kind of had special meaning, and I didn't even think about it when he was on the show and we had the livery kind of showed to us as far as what it might look like. I guess I just didn't match time up, but
I didn't either until now that you just said that.
Right, which unfortunately is tomorrow. Yeah. So very humble day. Always remember those guys. I mean, and women that lost their life in the accident, and the first responders that are still going through all their trials and tribulations of, what is it now, 23 years ago?
23 years. Yeah, I actually have a good friend that was an 18-year-old. He was on the ambulance service for the city of New York.
Right.
And he was working that day and got called to assist. He didn't get injured or killed or anything, but obviously he's got the mental images and stuff in his mind and stuff. But I just, he posts every year about it, and hearing the call and everything. And, I remember where I was that day. I was in a law enforcement fishing tournament in northern Wisconsin, and my buddy and I were muskie fishing, and we heard on the radio that there was a terrorist attack in the United States, and we're both look at each other and like, let's go head back to the cabin and find out what's going on. And we sat there a majority of the day just watching TV in awe, going, how did this happen? And just that was a sad day in the United States history. A lot of innocent people perished, unfortunately, and thoughts and prayers to them and their families, and it's just sad. And like you said, just we got to remember all those brave men and women that in law enforcement, first responders that perished in that trying to save the innocent civilians that lost their lives. So they are the true American heroes.
Yep, 100%. I already know that at my shop we're gonna be flying the flag half mast tomorrow, and doing a special deal for all of our first responders and medical customers that we have. So we're trying to give back a little bit of something, but there's a lot of people that gave all, and there's a whole nother generation out there. Like I have a 15-year-old son. He doesn't understand it. So it's got to be important. I mean, I hate to drag this on. I know it's a racing podcast, and we really don't like to talk about politics that much, but it's just kind of like our grandfathers and some dads that remember Pearl Harbor. It's lost on my generation, and I'm 40. It'll be we just gotta remember that we're not invincible. That these men and women go out there every single day and never know what's going on, and it's just ultimately sad.
While I think about it, let's take a moment of silence for everybody that perished that day on 9/11. So. All right. Yeah. So, on that note, we'll finish the race recap. Jeremy is going to Watkins Glen, a road course. He's a really good road course racer. Hopefully luck turns around and he's able to get a really good finish this weekend. So I think there's 2 more races left before the playoffs for the Xfinity Series, one or two.
Yep.
So hopefully, I mean, if you can get a win, then he's in the playoffs in one of these 2 races. That would be awesome.
I actually said that to, I forget. There's a group of fans, and I said, "Yep." So that guy right there. I said, "That's my guy right there," and they're like, "Oh, wow." I said, "Man, all it takes is one race." So, and unless you just absolutely run somebody over going into turn 4, which we're not going to talk about, but you don't get a win for that one.
No, and so I agree. So I guess unless you have something more you want to talk about the race or whatever, just wish Jeremy and his team good luck this weekend.
Yep.
Have a great race, and thanks for tuning in. Our next show will be on Tuesday, September 17th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Remember, you can also watch podcasts live on our YouTube channel, or you can listen to it anytime on the free Podbean app. All you have to do is go to the Podbean app in your Play Store, Apple Play Store, or the Google Play Store, I believe it is, and just download the Podbean app. Just look for our logo. When you type in Area 51 Racing Podcast, click on it, download, and all our podcasts are right there where you can listen to them at any time, on your phone, computer, your Alexa, whatever you prefer. If you like our podcast, please like and share with your friends and family. Please also like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our other social media platforms on Facebook, X, and Instagram. And they're all under Area 51 Racing Podcast. Remember, if you have not done so, go check out stickygears.com, not only for our t-shirts that are for sale for $15 a piece, but Jeremy Clements merchandise that is on sale. A portion of all this, a portion of the proceeds from the sales go directly back to Jeremy Clements Racing to keep Jeremy and his team on the racetrack. So just go to stickygears.com and check them out. Also, check out Anna Moore Designs, LLC, for more Area 51 Racing Podcast merchandise, such as these awesome tumblers, the garden flag that's right there. You know, Dave last week had a custom t-shirt. You had a custom t-shirt of the Atlanta car that you had on at the racetrack this weekend that you posted on Anna's site actually today. I'll get to that contest that she's doing in a minute here. But also we have stickers for sale. We have the bigger stickers and the small stickers. So just reach out to Bobby if you're interested in purchasing one. And then Anna is running a contest right now for all of her customers. It's if you enter hashtag Anna Amore Designs LLC and then post a photo of you with one of the items that she made for you that you purchased from her on her social media site, you will be entered in for a free $50 gift card for anything on her that she makes. But the deadline for the submissions is this Saturday, September 14th by noon. So make sure you get those submissions in. I know, Dave, you did. I did, but I know if I win, I'm gonna defer it to use it as a giveaway for the podcast. Because I feel bad if I were to win that, it wouldn't be fair. So
that was my problem is you know, I think at one point in time I wanted to message her and be like, is it one? Am I only allowed one application, or is this like a, hey, everything I've bought, can I put a picture of? Because everything's just so cool that she's done for us that I'm like, all right, garden flag, all right, 4 or 5 t-shirts, all right, couple of hoodies.
That's why I posted everything that that I got from her that she made to share so people can see it. I mean, obviously they can see the stuff, on the podcast here or support a local small business. And obviously and her husband Nick are great people. They were on the podcast last week. So whatever we can do to help them out, they help us out as well. So we appreciate it. Like Dave and I talked earlier about Golly Beard Company. If you go to Golly Beard Products at gollybeard.com to place an order at checkout, enter the discount code Area 51 and get 15% off your order, and then also free shipping. And remember, guys, make them say it. Golly.
And just for proper pronunciation on that, it is GAHLAY beard.com.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that, Dave.
Well, I had some a couple people that had reached out to me that kind of like the Anna Amore, where I've just kind of had to spell it out for them just because we use it frequently here. There was just a couple people that didn't know how to spell it, and you can pretty much guess at the Google machine and it'll bring it up. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, and then obviously check out the Racing Warehouse website for several new Jeremy Clements Racing hats. I don't know if they've released any new hats lately, but they do have not only hats, They have sheet metal. As you can see, Dave has probably half of the Jeremy Clements sheet metal at his Racing Warehouse location.
One thing cool, Racing Warehouse does still have a couple of the St. Jude hats left that they're selling for, I believe, $25 now. And those are super cool hats. And the proceeds are still going to the St. Jude's. I'm sorry, I'm lost for words here.
The
Like
kids charity.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I can't think of it either now. I'm drawing a blank. But yes, it's to go to the kids' medical fund.
Yep.
So, and not only does Racing Warehouse do sheet metal, they also sell die cast and other racing memorabilia that you may be looking for. Check out their social media websites. A lot of times on Facebook during the week, they'll have make an offer, sales, or they'll have an auction on a raced used item or a die cast or whatever. So they also do the embroidery. Armadillo apparel is also run through Racing Warehouse. The polo shirts Dave and I have were made by them. They're awesome shirts. Dave has the hat that we were just talking about.
Yep, what I was talking about was the Masonic Home for Children. They still have a couple of these, and like I said, it's for a great cause. Just like the bumper behind me, that's off of that car there. Just going to a good foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. And then as far as our partners who make this podcast possible, we can't thank you all enough. We appreciate the support. Again, Dave, Bobby, and I could not do this without all these people that I'm going to name. Their help and support, and also you listeners that tune in from all over the world to listen to us three gentlemen talk about racing from a fan perspective and interview people in the racing industry. We really are truly blessed to be able to be doing what we're doing and have the faith of all these companies and support to represent them and do what we're doing. So we really like to thank Spartan Waste, 98.3 FM, Fox Sports Spartanburg, Impel Union, Alliance Drive-Away Solutions, First Pacific Funding, Elite Towing and Recovery, Whitetail Smokeless, Flying Form Concrete Structures, Runner's Roost, Matman Designs, Action RV, Booze Pops, Nordic Logistics, Wings Etc., Anna Moore Designs LLC, Gale, Sherfick Companies, High Speed Auto, Kylie Glick Racing, and of course Jeremy Clements and Jeremy Clements Racing. Without, again, all your support and help, we wouldn't be able to do this, and we greatly appreciate everything everybody's done for us. Episode 37. Unfortunately, we apologize that Jennifer Clements wasn't able to be, Jennifer Clements Zellner, Jeremy's sister, wasn't able to be on the show tonight due to a scheduling conflict. She is going to be back on again. Hopefully we can try to get her on with her brother Jeremy. I think that would be a pretty fun, interesting show. We could maybe have a little sibling rivalry, get some insight of some goofy stories from childhood and that type of stuff. But either way,
just putting a bug out there, Jeremy, if you're watching, wink, wink, nod, nod.
Yeah. So yeah, we'd love to talk to you guys. So on that note, episode 37 is in the books. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna even try to play the Booze Pops thing because I'll probably start recording somewhere else or something. So on that note, I thank everybody for joining in tonight. Thank you to our worldwide listeners, especially to Dave's fan club from was it Zimbabwe or
Yep.
I can't
Nigeria.
remember.
Yep.
Nigeria. So we appreciate everybody that takes the time to listen to us and tune in. So, and remember,
Vote for Kylie.
vote for Kylie Glick. Go to HoosiersHeroes.com and click on vote, and then vote for Kylie. Let's make her number 12 finalist out of the 25, and hopefully we're able to do that. So on that note, everybody, thank you for joining in, taking your time out of your evening to listen to two guys talk racing, and one numbnuts that doesn't know how to run a computer in me. But
And I'm just here for the party. I mean, I was told that I would be getting, served, small sandwiches and whatnot, and I haven't got that yet, Rob.
Yeah, I think
We're,
that's,
we're,
I
we're
think Bobby,
37 shows in, and I still have yet to get hors d'oeuvres.
you know what? I think that we got to talk to Bobby about that.
I think so too.
Isn't that in our contract?
Yeah.
Like our green room, we were supposed to have small sandwiches and drinks or something like that, I think.
I got dogs barking and my son walking back and forth, giving me the stink eye. That's all I can come up with.
Which is cool because I can see every time he walks by in the reflection of the green chrome there on the 51 door. So,
yep.
But yeah, I have Sonny running around here and playing with his toy and trying to jump up on my lap every once in a while. So, it's obviously we're a bunch of amateurs having fun, doing what we like to do. Yep. And, I think we do just as good a job as, like we said before, the door bumper clear guys, or, so.
I'll take a shot to that.
Cheers, brother. And cheers to all our listeners and viewers. Thank you. And this will be the end of episode 37 of the Area 51 Racing Podcast. Everybody have a great night and have a great week. And remember the fall and tomorrow on September 11th. God bless everybody. Peace.
Peace out.